What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm showing you guys a set I did yesterday. I did 10 minutes with double 24 kilograms, and I'm going to give you some advice on how to stop being afraid of 10 minutes, how to have more confidence in your ability to complete 10 minutes. But before we get into the video, today's video is sponsored by me. If you need a coach who knows what the fuck he's actually doing, my email address is in the description, and if you want a working long cycle program, the link is in the description as well. Alright, so how do you actually get better at completing 10 minutes? I actually saw this today. A guy I know on Instagram didn't finish his competition set, put the bells down at the 7-minute mark, and that's a pretty experienced kettlebell lifter. And the question is, why does that happen? And the answer is, well, especially non-Russian kettlebell lifters, they baby themselves too much. You need to be hell-bent on never putting the kettlebells down if you don't absolutely have to. And that's something I hammered into my brain from the beginning. Is like, if you think about it, you can think of like two wolves you have inside of you, right? And you're always feeding one of them with your actions. So one of them is a little bitch and he's telling you to put the bells down, to quit, it's too hard. And the other one is like the tough alpha Chad wolf who's going to tell you, keep going, I can do this, right? And it's like neurological pathways that you can actually reinforce with your actions, right? And you want as much as possible to feed the badass strong wolf and as little as possible to feed the little bitch wolf. And thus you're going to reinforce neural pathways that actually make you more resilient mentally, and it's going to increase your confidence, because you know I always finish 10 minutes. And if you, on the other hand, feed the little bitch wolf, you're going to have a lot of doubts creeping in the future, and you don't want that. So how do you do that? Well, you want to practice that, and that's the problem I see with a lot of people's programming. They never really do 10-minute set, and then they go to a competition and they struggle because they haven't even experienced it. And maybe they do a competition. If you compete a lot, okay. If you compete every 2 to 3 weeks, okay, you don't need to do that many long sets in training. But if you compete once a year, like, how are you going to actually experience the emotions you are going to experience in a 10-minute set? And that's why I believe you should do longer sets in training, right? And the thing is, a lot of people seem to be afraid of doing longer sets in training, but there's actually nothing scary about it if you do it regularly. And that's the thing. Yesterday I just went to training, and my coach Anastasia just told me today we're going to do 10 minutes with 24s. And obviously I wasn't happy. I didn't want to do it, but I knew I was going to do it. Okay, I wasn't mentally prepared. And yes, I didn't like go 100% competition effort. I didn't have that in me mentally, but 90-95% effort, and I had no doubt whatsoever that I was going to complete the set. And that's really the thing. The 10-minute sets, they don't have to be in the beginning with heavy weights, right? Or don't even start with 10 minutes, right? Start with, if you're just starting out, if you're maybe competing with double 20s, for example, do 8 minutes with double 12 kilograms as a cool down after your main work, or on a like lighter day, and work that up, do 10 minutes, maybe do 12 minutes sometimes, right? So you always want those longer sets present in your training at all times. And that's actually a conversation I had recently with a very high-level kettlebell lifter here in St. Petersburg. And he was talking to the legendary coach Sergei Rachinsky and asked him that same question. How can I stop being afraid of the 10 minutes? And he gave him a little challenge. He said, you're going to do 9 training sessions over 10 days. So the weights from 16 to 32 kilograms in 2 kg increments, so 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. Each of them you're going to write on a piece of paper. And then every day, over 10 days, you're going to draw one of the weights and you're going to do 10 minutes with it. And it works out to 9 training sessions. So one day you can rest, okay? You have one day of rest. Choose it wisely. And if you're really shit out of luck, you're going to do 32s one day and then 30s the next day. And maybe the third day you have 16s and you can relax a little bit and recover. But the thing is, after the 10 days are up, you're not going to be afraid of 10 minutes anymore. And obviously, like, that's something like for advanced lifters. That's not something I would recommend to most people. Another thing I've heard Raczynski has his guys do is he has them do 15 minutes with double 32 kilograms, so with the competition weight. So that's like super brutal, like that's going to break your brain, that's for sure. But no doubt about it, after that 10 minutes is going to seem like a breeze. And obviously you can do also pause work. For example, you can do pause jerk or pause long cycle. What's that? For example, 10 seconds in the hang, okay, like just holding the kettlebells, clean to rack 10 seconds, holding fixation 10 seconds, and do that for 10 minutes, right? So it works out to around 2 reps per minute, okay? And then there's the method that I often see that I also use to do quite a lot in the beginning, is just alternating exercises. So the classic example would be something like a triathlon, where you do 3 minutes of jerk, 3 minutes of long cycle, then you do 4 minutes of snatch with 1 kettlebell. So the idea is you do longer sets, but you alternate exercises every minute, every 2 minutes, every 3 minutes. There's Denis Vasilyev's all-in-one challenge. There's like a million possibilities to do that. And the idea is you work for longer periods of time. And since you switch exercises, it's not as difficult. I think it's good for beginners, but for advanced or intermediate even lifters, I'd much rather see them just do longer sets. And why is that? Because the thing that makes the longer sets hard precisely is the fact that you're doing the same shit over and over again, that it's one exercise you have to repeat. So if you switch exercises, you actually take away the main thing that makes it hard. Because switching exercises all the time, it's actually easy. It's really like not a big deal. So yeah, that's really the thing. You need to be aware of your mindset and be aware of the fact that being a bitch and being a little quitter comes with consequences. And in one of the recent videos I told you guys all the stuff, be kind to yourself, etc. Yes, that's true. But being kind to yourself also means being honest with yourself. And if you're being a little bitch, you need to tell yourself, I'm being a little bitch. You need to be honest with yourself. And that's one of the things I see with the like Western kettlebell lifters. It's this woo-woo shit, I need to hug my inner child or whatever. I mean, yeah, hug your inner child, but do that like in your free time, not when you're trying to lift kettlebells. So be relentless. Don't put the bells down unless you absolutely have to, and reinforce that habit. And you reinforce that habit by practicing it, by doing long sets in your training, and by scaling it down. And that way you're going to build your confidence. And basically that's all there is to it. Like if you keep doing that, you're going to develop that ability. And it's like with everything in life. The more you practice it, the better you're going to get at it. And I'm always telling myself, like, I'm allowed to slow down. I'm not allowed to quit. Okay? If you need like to slow down after minute 7, it's much better than quitting. Finish the set at all costs. Yeah. So I hope that was some useful information for the kettlebell sport athletes watching. And I'm going to talk to you guys soon. Have a great evening. See you next time.